Welcome to this Tutor to You revision video that looks at the second part of the Western Desert case study, focusing on the challenges found in the desert. If you haven't studied this case study, you may wish to watch the Thar Desert videos instead. This is part of Paper 1, Unit B, The Living World. So let's start off by recapping the location of the Western Desert. The Western Desert is in the United States of America and is made of three different hot deserts: the Mojave Desert, part of the Sonoran Desert, and part of the Chihuahuan Desert. The Western Desert is in the southwest of the USA and it covers around 200,000 square kilometres, spanning parts of California, Nevada, Utah, Arizona, and New Mexico. Population density in this desert is low, with most people living in cities such as Phoenix in Arizona and Las Vegas in Nevada. The harsh conditions in the Western Desert make life very challenging. Let's have a look at population density in the Western Desert. The harsh conditions in the Western Desert have made life difficult for many centuries, for traditional Native American communities and for settlers more recently. There are many areas across the region that are very sparsely populated or have no settled populations at all, for example Death Valley that you can see on the screen. Death Valley is in the Mojave Desert and has temperatures of around 50 degrees in the summer. This barely sustains plant life, let alone people and animals, hence its name. As we've said, the Western Desert is made up of the Mojave, Sonoran and Chihuahuan deserts. In each of these areas, indigenous people settled near rivers or aquifers, so they had a source of water for drinking and to sustain their subsistence farming. Inaccessibility is a huge problem in the Western Desert. The population density is very low in parts of this desert, which has led to a lack of road infrastructure investment, meaning that in parts of the desert there are very few surfaced roads. And where there are surface roads like the highway on the screen, they often lack important services such as fuel stations, so breaking down in the heat is a very real and dangerous risk. The inaccessibility means it is difficult for communities and economic activities set up and established, and the lack of communities or economic activities taking place means there is little motivation to invest in road construction, which is a bit of a vicious cycle. It is extremely difficult to travel in some areas of Nevada north of Las Vegas, despite the popularity of the city. However, many tourists like to explore this area of wilderness. They have to find their own way using minor roads and rough tracks. And even when roads are okay, the extreme heat makes driving in the desert dangerous due to the high risk of breaking down. People have died from dehydration in the Mojave Desert after driving off-road and becoming stranded. However, because Las Vegas attracts millions of tourists each year, there has been investment to improve accessibility. Las Vegas originally grew in the 19th century as it was seen as a good location for a train station, which then meant bars, shops and hotels were built. This then led to the construction of better roads and then airports linking the area with major global cities. Finally, let's think about living with extreme heat in the Western Desert. Indigenous Native American communities adapted to the extreme heat in the desert by building homes with thick clay walls which kept them cool during the day and warm at night. Later, settlers and migrants of the late 19th and early 20th centuries also made adaptations to their homes to help them survive the harsh climate. They built homes with flat roofs that could collect rainwater to be recycled and with small windows which reduced sunlight able to get in, thus keeping internal temperatures low. They also painted walls white to reflect solar radiation and to keep buildings cool, which is something we still see in hot countries today, for example across the Mediterranean. Settlers also wore wide-brimmed hats to keep the sun out of their eyes and to prevent sunburn. Today, water shortages in the area have had an impact on landscaping choices. Many people have chosen to use drought-resistant plants in their garden, which is known as desert landscaping and can be seen on the screen in the bottom corner, or they have replaced grass with artificial alternatives in gardens but also on sports pitches. That concludes this Tutor to You revision video focusing on the challenges that make life difficult in the Western Desert. Thank you for watching.